All right, shalom everybody, and peace of the Lord to all of you. I hope you can hear me very well. And I don't know, guys, what to do with you. I mean, you are always late. I'm not sure, you know. At the end of the day, we have to blame the Jews, you know. I was in the store, and I was buying something more useful than Mohammed. Don't ask me. The first word was manure. Anyway, I wanted to pay, but there's a guy so slow to grab his money from his wallet. And I said, oh, he must be a Jew. So I said to him, come on, Netanyahu. He said, how you know my name? I said to him, Subhanallah. He said to me, you are from Gaza, right? I said, how you know that? He said to me, Subhanallah. Amar Rabbi. Anyway, so because you are late, you know, and I'm so upset from you. Actually, I was loading, really unloading manure, literally, you know. So I smell so good, you know. But this is not, you know, don't think about it in a negative way. Manure is something very useful. Trust me. It can make you eat wonderful vegetables. Not like Islam. You know, there's no benefit of Islam. Manure is very, 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 very useful. I didn't know how he knew that. He said to me, you are from Gaza, right? I said, how you know? You know? I guess because I'm so handsome like Yasser Arafat. Anyway, so this is a new video about Mimi Hijab. And you know, this Mimi Hijab, the more he tried to defend himself or herself, she dig in her grave. So let us see what the new update. Simply, this potato, he don't even dare to go on microphone and camera says, it's a lie, you know? So what he do? He fabricated audio in AI. And this guy, he got them busted. And he's a Muslim like them, you know? So let us hear what's going on, or what is the last update of Mimi Hijab digging in his dirty bag.
2 days after we published a video on the case against Mohammed Hijab, there was a response video published on a channel called False Accusations. There have been a lot of attacks and false, misleading, and fabricated information that has been relayed from this channel. So it is imperative we take a closer look. This channel was created in November of 2023.
Guys, this channel created in November 8, 2023. Why is that? Listen to the reason.
Just a few months after the divorce between Mohammed Hijab and Sister Aisha. If you look,
so this guy, she start now making noise about what he have done. So the guy, Mimi Hijab, he created a channel. It remained empty the whole year, not a single video. Not a single video.
look a little closer, you'll notice the handle of this channel is called False Accusations UK. Apparently, it was
False Accusation UK. So it is in the UK. And it is about false accusation, but not a single video posted.
specifically created to address so-called false accusations within the UK.
Before we begin, let's make something clear. This channel is not affiliated with Mohammed Hijab, nor...
You know, the stupid Mimi, when he say that, he just proved that it is. And why you are using AI to make the video? What about you speak? Well, you know, like, I mean, the one who is speaking, why this, you know, it's obviously, it is him. Everything in this channel is AI voice.
Or are we based in the UK?
Interesting. So the channel handle is False Accusations UK, but they claim they are not based in the UK. In addition, the channel was created back in 2023 without ever publishing a single video. But now they magically pop up and they want you to believe they are working independently and feel compelled to defend Mohammed Hijab.
Is the sound from the video coming good? Is the audio from the video coming fine to you? Let me know if you have a difficulty. All right. So they made a channel for a year not a single video was published. More than a year, actually. You know, not a single video. And it's made for false accusation. And it says UK. And guess then what happened?
Dig a little bit deeper on the claim that this channel is not affiliated with Mohammed Hijab. On April 6, we published a video titled Deceived by Mohammed Hijab, the Secret Marriage That Broke Me. On April 8th, this channel published a response video titled Behind the Obsession, the
It happened that this channel was dead until this. 2 days after, suddenly is making eggs.
troubling story of a stalker fixated on Mohammed Hijab. Just minutes prior to release, Mohammed Hijab posted a tweet, I will release a video in 30 to 60 minutes, which...
Look how stupid this donkey. He claimed that this channel is not his, but he just said... I mean, stupid. It's like saying, I will rob a bank after 30 minutes, and then the bank robbed, and then it says, this is not me. I have nothing to do with it. How you know that the video will be published between 30 to 60 minutes from now if this is not affiliate with you? Stupidity is amazing. Brother sister, in 30 minutes or 60 minutes, I'm not sure. I'm working on the video, I will publish it. And the funny is saying, I will release. Not somebody will release. I mean, just I was stupid. He's not saying somebody will release a video, told me. No, I will release. Which directly respond to the some questions.
Which will directly respond to some questions. He didn't say an anonymous group will be releasing a video. He said, I will release a video. Hence, clearly stating that this video was from him. After all, he states it will directly respond to some questions. And then 4 days later, on April 12th, he specifically states, in the original video I made.
How stupid this idiot. How stupid this idiot. Unbelievable.
He is definitively stating that he made the video. There is no room for ambiguity. It is clear cut. Mohammed Hijab states that he made the video released on April 8th, a video that featured a cryptic AI narrator while referring to himself in third person so that he wouldn't have to deny the allegations and instead could lead the public down a path of deflection and diversion. But here's where it gets really interesting and deeply troubling. Just a few days back on April 26th, the same channel featuring the same AI narrator released a follow-up video just 1 hour after our release of the interview between Dawah and Sister Aisha. Except this time, they quickly put emphasis that this channel is not affiliated with Mohammed Hijab.
This channel is not affiliated with Mohammed Hijab.
So how did this AI-backed channel get a private voice note that was sent only to Mohammed Hijab from Dr. Abu Aya?
I will tell you. Muslims are always confused. I mean, they are confused when they read the Quran. Confused when they read the Hadith. Confused about, even the word confusion doesn't make any, I mean, you can't explain how confused they are. So is it hard really for a Muslim? He sent a voice message to the wrong number, in the wrong country, to this channel. What's wrong with you? It can happen, it can happen. I mean, Mimi Hijab, he want to send a voice message. The guy, he live in Zulululu. Don't ask me what is this country is, okay? Allah knows best. I mean, I mean, this guy is so stupid. But you know, the Mimi Hijab and his trash, they said to themselves, those Muslims will not ask those questions. They are unlucky that this guy is not really that stupid. I think this guy is a software engineer, maybe. So they are playing with the wrong guy. From what I understand, he owns a server, etc. Company business have to do with server. So you have something to do with internet. So they are playing this game with the wrong person. So stupid. Okay, if I am trying to defend Mimi Hijab, how I was able to get private messages, nobody have it. Except Mohammed Hijab. If I have nothing to do with Mohammed Hijab. Man. Do you think it's possible that this AI is Jibreel? I have a feeling it is Jibreel. And this feeling always comes to me after I load and unload manure. I don't know what the connection between Muhammad, Jibreel, and manure. I have no idea. But there's a connection. Always like inspiration come to me, you know? Like I bring manure, you know? Subhan, smell of Allah, you know? Like I put, unbelievable. I put the cases in the trunk, and man, almost I suffocated. But anyway, we have to eat a nice tomato. What we can do? Yeah. So anyway, so Mohammed Hijab, he have nothing to do with this channel, but yet this channel, who have nothing to do with Mohammed Hijab, was able to get very private message of Mohammed Hijab. It must be the Jews. Who can do that except the Jews? I will not be surprised if the pager owned by Mohammed Hijab and his secret 6 escort, they have a pager from the IDF. I will not be surprised.
Did this AI-backed channel get a private voice note that was sent only to Mohammed Hijab from Dr. Abu Aya? How did they get a voice note that was sent privately from Sheikh Mohammed Torana directly to Mohammed Hijab? And most importantly, how is it that Mohammed Hijab initially stated that he created the first video with the AI narrator, but is now trying to distance himself from the channel? He has been caught in a series of clear contradictions, clear lies.
Sounds like Quran to me. I mean, isn't it this is what the Quran? How come you are smart to notice the contradiction of Mimi Hijab, but you did not notice the stupid contradiction all over the Quran? Like, was Muhammad nobody came before him to Mecca as a prophet, or he was the first, or he was not the first? Like, was Abraham there before him and Ishmael, or Muhammad was first? So as long as you are so good in contradiction, I mean, I don't know. Look, you know what? There is. I saw some people. They have like they put something in their eye. You know, like the eye is closed. Maybe he's injured in the war. But Muslims, they do that always when they speak about the Quran. They close both eyes. So they are so good to see contradiction everywhere. Right away, he's spotted. But the second you show him the contradiction in the Quran, excuse me, I have some manure to load.
But what could possibly be the motive? Why claim you created the first video, but then have the same AI narrator state that there is no affiliation? It is very simple. Either you have bipolar personality disorder, or you...
What is that? Hold on. Bipolar?
Either you have bipolar personality...
I don't know what this word means. Excuse me, guys. Maybe I know it, but the manure is making me feel like not awake enough. What bipolar mean? A mental health conditions characterized by extreme mood swing between period of mania, elevated mood, and depression. This guy must be a doctor. You know those names? I didn't know them. Who's Mania? Is that Melania Trump? Something like that? I have not. Insanity, elevated mood. Okay. Hypomania? I know the hippo. At least there's a part of the word I know. What is hippo? I forget, man. You know, my English is not good without manure. So imagine after the manure. Anyway, continue. So the guy, maybe Hijab, he have bipolar? Not bio like a PhD in biology or something? Man. And he have disorder? Sounds like Mohammed to me. In the morning, he give the Muslim an order. Afternoon, he give them the opposite. It's haram. Okay, Prophet. It's not haram. Okay, Prophet. It is haram. If you go right now, check how many times Muhammad, he says, Muta is haram, Muta is lawful, Muta is haram, Muta is lawful. You will get the conclusion that Muhammad is suffering from bipolar. By the way, do you have one jacket like me? I don't have a jacket actually, but you look like me. I mean, you wear one t-shirt. I mean, since I watch you since I was a kid, you wear the same jacket and the same t-shirt. Unbelievable. Anyway, maybe you have a bipolar, bowler. Unbelievable. Don't teach English to the Arab. They will screw it up. By the way, we don't use shampoo like you. We use shampoo. My cousin, he go to the store. He says, "Do you have shampoo?" I said, "Oh, you mean shampoo?" No, shampoo. Okay, what kind of shampoo? For cats, for dogs, for humans? Shampoo, any shampoo. All is shampoo for the Arab. And now, the shampoo of maybe Hijab trying to wash his semen from the crime scene. AI, thank you, AI. Thank you. No Muslim could defend Mimi Hijab. AI, the only one who was able to do it.
That there is no affiliation. It is very simple. Either you have bipolar personality disorder, or you are frantically trying to remove any form of liability, both legally.
I don't know. I'm learning English here. Frantically, that's deep. That's very powerful word. Or you are frantically. Mean. That will hurt the butt of. Did you say to Mimi Hijab frankly? You think you can handle it? What if he die from this word? I mean, put yourself in his shoes. His escort girl who slept with her for 2-3 years in the hotel, she's going around exposing him, calling him for the European Council. I mean, the guy is screwed. And you, in the top of that, you say, Frank, that's not right. What if he die? His family can sue you. You know? Not because they are upset because he died. No, because they want to make more money. Scammers. Anyway, I like this word. So I will start using it from now on. You are frantically. The first Muslim he called me, I will call him, you are frantically trying. All right? Remind me, guys. You are Okay. Sorry for the interpretation. Never watch a football game with a Christian prince. He will stop the ball in the sky just to make a comment. Unbelievable. Continue.
It is very simple. Either you have bipolar personality disorder, or you are frantically trying to remove any form of liability, both legally and in the court of public opinion.
Oh.
In the second video, the same AI avatar that Hijab featured in the first video now relays an alleged confession by Sister Aisha. This time, somehow in the past few days, they magically captured her speaking to an anonymous mufti and confessing that she did.
Guys, why he's saying Christian prince is anonymous? Is he insulting me or what? I heard Muslims saying to me, anonymous. Why you are talking about me, man, in my back? So what if I am anonymous? Like Allah is anonymous. أنا أنا English is very unique, by the way. Ah, boy. Yeah, I mean, this girl, she spoke to an anonymous mufti. Well, maybe this is his name. Like instead of Muhammad, Ali, Ahmed, maybe his real name is anonymous. Maybe his real name is ammonia. You never know, you know. So the stupid maybe hijab, he fabricated an audio. It's obvious it's fabrication, that she called the mufti. And look how decent this mufti is. He is so decent to the point he is recording the Muslim women. Sound like a pervert. I mean, if a woman is speaking to you about a private issue, why you are recording her? Ah, you are a Muslim. Very decent people, very decent. Yeah. Like, you know, imagine a Christian, he go to the church and he confess his sin to the priest, and then the priest, he record it and he publish it. He must be a very good priest. So this is the Muslim priest, the mufti. The highest, actually, not only he is a priest, he's like a very high manure, you know? Extreme manure smell, like, you know, mean. Yeah. So how in the world this guy is a mufti, and he is religious, and he is recording the voice of a woman, and if he is he even allowed to speak according to Islam to a woman privately? Isn't it this is haram? What the heck? Because in case you do not know, the voice of a Muslim woman is a vagina. I'm telling you. Mohammed, he said that the voice of the woman is a awra. Awra means a vagina. So anyway, so Mohammed Hijab fabricated other video claiming that she called a sheikh, big sheikh, that's why they call him mufti.
An alleged confession by Sister Aisha. This time, somehow in the past few days, they magically captured her speaking to an anonymous mufti and confessing that she didn't actually marry Hijab.
So did you marry Hijab or not?
I didn't marry him, but if...
I mean, it's obvious that the stupid Mimi Hijab is using the same AI. The same AI for the previous video. Suddenly he is the same guy. I mean, choose different voice. I think the software is for free. That's why you have no choice, you know? It's the same guy. Look, the same guy who spoke in the beginning of the video. Listen carefully. With a little change. And they fabricated an image of somebody unknown. You know, this is an AI image.
She didn't actually marry Hijab.
So did you marry Hijab or not?
I didn't marry him, but if I told people this, they would think I'm crazy and so on.
Do you think this is fair on him and his family?
With all due respect to yourself, I can take my rights with my own hand.
Let's be clear, the speaker's distinctive accent makes it immediately evident that it is
Evident.
There is no ambiguity. We've run this audio through advanced software designed to detect AI-generated voices, and as clearly shown on the screen, this recording doesn't match any of the
Listen. I mean, this guy is a scumbag, I mean, Hijab. What about you load the audio in the front of us? Actually, we can do it right now. We can take the video, the audio, and we can load it in this website. So look, obviously, he did not load the video. How we know? Watch.
indicators.
First off, as someone who has spoken at great lengths with Sister Aisha, this sounds nothing like her. It is clearly a desperate attempt to try and deceive the public. But let's not take my word for it. Let's use the same AI detection tool they used to validate whether or not this was AI. Let's head over to 11 Labs, a website used to generate AI voices. Here, we'll go ahead and upload the extracted clip of what they claim is Sister Aisha's confession.
I didn't marry him.
See now the difference between what that guy did and what this guy did? Here we know what he's loading. Here we know what he's loading, because I can load my voice and then it says this is not fake, right? So here this guy is showing us he's loading what? He play even the audio while loading it.
Sister Aisha's confession.
I didn't marry him, but if I told people this, they would think I'm crazy and so on. With all due respect to yourself, I can take my rights with my own hand.
Upload. See, he's doing it live in front of you.
SubhanAllah. It states that there is a 98% probability that this audio was generated by...
Listen. 98. So why you are so negative? It's 98%. It's likely fake. There's 2%. You see, you are really negative. Why you are focusing in the 98 possibility it's fake? What about the 2%? It's the same as those things you buy them, you see them in TV. They say to you, this thing can clean your dishes and can clean your bathroom and kill 99.99999 sound like German. 9, you know, of bacteria. And you know, which is funny is, if this thing will kill 99.99, obviously the one did not kill is the one who will kill you. Because obviously it's so dangerous to the point this chemical could not kill it. So what's the point of this chemical? Unbelievable. I love it how they fool people, you know. And people buy them and they think now they are clean. 99.999999 sound like Saddam Hussein election, you know. Okay, hold on. So Mimi Hijab, are you stupid? I mean, you just told them where to go. You said that this software is the one can tell you if this is true or not. He did. He mentioned this the same website. Look.
Marry Hijab or not?
I didn't marry him, but if I told people this, they would think I'm crazy and so on.
Do you think this is fair on him and his family?
With all due respect to yourself, I can take my rights with my own hand.
Let's be clear, the speaker's distinctive accent makes it immediately evident that it is. There is no ambiguity. We've run this audio through advanced software designed to detect AI-generated voices, and as clearly shown on the screen,
hold on.
generated voices.
Stop. Okay, look what it says here. Properly, 2%, it is very unlikely this audio was generated with 11 laps. Properly, 2%. It's very unlikely this audio was generated with 11 laps. So this is the same website which that guy he used. How come here it says something, there it says something else? The answer is very simple. You remember this, you know, this hooker, you know, the women, not hooker, sorry, not hooker. It's not nice to use those words. My English, sorry guys, my English. She hooked to Islam, not hooker. She is hooked to Islam. Lily J. ChatGPT, is Prophet Muhammad is a true prophet? Yes. ChatGPT, are you willing to convert to Islam? Absolutely. So you know, you tell the software how to answer you. Here we do not know what he loaded there. Like, does it even show the name of the file? What you load? Maybe you load the fart. Like it's a genuine fart, you know. You know. You stupid donkey. I mean, you see how professional work, you know, happened. This guy here, the one is getting them busted. He played the audio. He loaded the audio in front of us, and he is recording the screen in front of us. And here you see how stupid Mimi Hijab is. However, any one of you can go there. It's for free, and you can load the video. The audio, sorry, I think here you can check the audio only. I'm not sure, because this what says audio. So you can load the audio and get the result yourself. You know, just cut that part, load it there. I did not need to do that because this guy, he did it for us already. But you can do it if you have time.
AI-generated voices, and as clearly shown on the screen, this recording doesn't match any of the indicators.
First off, as someone who has spoken at great lengths with Sister Aisha, this sounds nothing like her. It is clearly a desperate attempt to try and deceive the public. But let's not take my word for it. Let's use the same AI detection tool they used to validate whether or not this was AI. Let's head over to 11 Labs, a website used to generate AI voices. Here, we'll go ahead and upload the extracted clip of what they claim is Sister Aisha's confession.
I didn't marry him, but if I told people this, they would think I'm crazy and so on. With all due respect to yourself, I can take my right with my own hand.
Doesn't make even sense, the way she is talking. What, take my right?
SubhanAllah. It states that there is a 98% probability that this audio was generated by 11 Labs. I don't know how much sloppier Hijab and his incompetent deepfake team could get. Not only did they generate a voice clip that didn't sound like her, but they literally showed the world exactly where they did it. All while trying to dupe and deceive the public by
Guys,
showing a screenshot trying to validate their malicious
hold on.
claim.
Guys, do you think I use AI when I, like the one who called me, like Zakir Naik? Do you think this is AI? I know, it sounds like him. First of all, I can prove it that this is original and it is authentic. Zakir Naik, how you can prove it? Are you going to record the screen? Open your camera. Open your camera and show that you are not an AI. Get a breath. First of all, I'm taking a shower. Same on you to ask a man to be naked in the camera. How I know just okay? You can wear something, put something on you. Come on, you know, put your jacket. And what do you mean naked? I mean, you are bones. What do you think? Well, we will see nothing anyway. I mean, we can see through. Do you even eat? Like, listen, just put something and open the camera and prove that this is not an AI. I want to know who is this guy. He keep calling me. Even the phone don't even ring. Suddenly your voice come out on the computer. How you can do that? Get a breath. First of all, we are from Bangladesh, and Bangladesh is very well in hacking. What the heck? What you said? The only thing I understand is the last word, hacking. Exactly. And right now I'm hacking your computer. Okay. I am convinced you are Zakir Naik. ChatGPT, is that the voice of Zakir Naik? Absolutely. So do you confirm, ChatGPT, that this is the true Zakir Naik? I confirm. All right. Let's go back. So, sorry, guys. The video is 10 minutes. With the Christian press is going to be 10 hours. It's not your fault. It's the manure fault.
Sound like her, but they literally showed the world exactly where they did it. All while trying to dupe and deceive the public by showing a screenshot trying to validate their malicious claim. In addition, they state,
the voice note is a recorded conversation with a qualified mufti who has chosen to remain anonymous.
So now they want to protect this random and
this mufti, he chosen to be anonymous. And why this woman, she is calling this anonymous mufti? And how you get the recording yourself? I mean, the guy is anonymous. He called you? Hello? Yes? Hey, anonymous, how you doing? Okay. Oh, you recorded okay. Okay, send me the file. Mr. Anonymous, what is your address? Anonymous? What about the zip code? Anus? The zip code, okay. Anus? Hijab. Okay. I get the address, no problem. Thank you very much. So this guy, he's chosen to be anonymous. As you know, I have degrees in law. So I imagine the witness is anonymous, Hey, Judge, can we bring the witnesses? Bring him. Oh, he can't come here. He can't speak to you. He can't use his voice. He can't use his face because he is anonymous. So now we are clear. You see, we have evidence, we have witnesses who spoke nothing, said nothing. Why? Because the witness is anus, the anus religion. Okay, continue. This is very exciting.
Really showed the world exactly where they did it, all while trying to dupe and deceive the public by showing a screenshot trying to validate their malicious claim. In addition, they state,
the voice note is a recorded conversation with a qualified mufti who
Qualified?
has chosen to remain anonymous.
so now they want to
Hold on.
protect this
I
random
don't know why
and
my...
anonymous mufti's...
Hold on. Qualified? I mean, he is so qualified to the point he record people phone call, especially a woman. He's so qualified, man. So decent. He's a qualified, like Mohammed. 6 years old. Mohammed is a qualified to make her sit in his lap. His own son wife, Mohammed is a qualified to take the son wife. If his eyes fall into a woman, her husband must divorce her so the Prophet can F her. Why? Because Muhammad is a qualified. See how important the qualification is Islam? This is not a Shihab religion as some people say. This is it's all about qualification. All about qualification. Like when Prophet Muhammad, his penis is not working, which is a very common problem in Arabia. I mean, in Egypt, which is not Arabia, according to reports, they spend hundreds of billions of dollars in Viagra. I mean, how big the problem is there, and how small their penis. Sorry. The problem is so big. So Prophet Muhammad, he was so qualified to have sex with all the wives, but he could not make babies. How we can fix that? So he invoked his God Allah. He keep invoking. We, Allah fix it, please Allah. And then Allah received a message, like he said to himself, oh Allah, my prophet, his penis is not working. To be honest with you, I'm changing the word, you know. He said his peanuts, not his penis, sorry. His peanuts is not working, so Allah decided to fix the penis of Muhammad. He went to the kitchen, he made a dish of kebab. In Arabic, it's called al-kufayt. It's a kind of meat, you know. And he cooked it and he sent it with Jibreel. And then Muhammad, he ate it. And brother, oh brother, the second prophet, Muhammad, the qualified prophet, he ate it. His penis like boing, boing. Actually, this is why this airplane company, they got their name from. Did you ask yourself where got this name? Boing, Boeing 777? This is exactly what happened to Muhammad. He just ate it. Oh man, it's a rocket. He can't even control it. I heard even that the moon split because of it, you know. Have you ever heard of a God fix the penis of his prophet by a dish? A very convincing story. You know, the second you read this story, written by Muhammad, told by Muhammad, published by Muhammad, you have to believe in Muhammad. If Muhammad is not a prophet of Allah, why Allah will fix his penis and cook for him a special dish? And they say to you, Allah, if you want to fix something or he makes something happen, he say B is going to be. Hey Muslims, how come he did not use the word B? I mean, at least say B kebab. I should not say that because now the kebab price will get expensive now. All the men, they will start buying kebab, believing this story to be true from Muhammad. Abdul, kebab will not make you so good in bed. Trust me. Because your prophet, after he ate the kebab, still he could not have sex. I have all the reference. Don't even go there. And don't try to use AI to prove me wrong. We get you busted. Okay, continue. Where we are? Oh, okay, here.
Trying to validate their malicious claim. In addition, they state,
the voice note is a recorded conversation with a qualified mufti who has chosen to remain anonymous.
So now they want to protect this random and anonymous mufti's identity. But when it came to
how you get the phone call? I mean, can you explain to us how the anonymous mufti record the call and gave it to you? Anonymous anonymous guy in the internet. How he get you? How he get the call? It's true story.
To Sheikh Torana, who did not want his name to be used anywhere, they happily disclosed it and have used his voice clips in nearly every video.
Sheikh Mohammed of Speaker's Corner, Mr. Tarani, Mohammed Tarani's permission.
Mohammed Tarone.
This
The funny Ali Dawah, he do not know how to say the name. Tarawna obviously is a Jordanian name. You know, Jordanian name, they have like a very weird, you know, Alawna, Tarawna, Sarawna, Kharawna, you know, all kind of funny, they add at the end, you know, the NT at the end, you know, like it's very funny. Any Jordanian here? Oh man, I will get the Jordanian upset from me now. Yeah, everybody, his name is end with na. Alawna, Tarawna, Shanawna, Kanawna, Khawnawna, Falawna, Balawna. If Trump he go there, he will call him Trumpna. Tarawna, you idiot, not Tarawna. You don't even know to say the name Ali Dawah. Potato. I mean, anyway. Continue. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. I saw those eyes before. Where? What kind of animal? Me. I mean, I just moved the video and look where the camera stopped. Imagine the woman, she is married to this man. She look at his eyes, she say, honey, your eyes is killing me. And trust me, she is saying the truth. It's not a fabrication. She mean it. All right? Just take it from me. And he have in his t-shirt Al-Qudus, which means Jerusalem. Abdul, if you dare fly there, if you dare, do jihad, you coward son of Muta. You want to do jihad sitting in a leather, you know, couch cost $6,000-7,000? Is that from the halal cat food money or the donation? Man, you are suffering for the sake of Palestine, brother. You are really suffering. I mean, look at your watch. She's watching Palestine. This is why you buy it, right? Because you want to watch what's going on in Palestine. And the hat, what is this hat, you know? It sounds like a communist or Japanese hat. It's like the Japanese army, correct, guys? I don't know. Maybe he gets from Japan. You know, when he attend the penis festival. Go.
This completely contradictory reasoning just does not add up. Unless, of course, you have no ethical or religious basis and you're in damage control mode and doing anything and everything to save yourself from drowning. But the intriguing narrative continues,
where she explains that what transpired was a failed engagement, not a marriage.
So the same AI narrator...
Hold on. How in the beginning they deny that he even knew her and he never have any relationship with her, and now they jump into engagement? In the beginning we do not know her, she is a stalker. I mean, the video before it in the same channel, they said she is just a stalker. Now it was a failed engagement.
Engagement, not a marriage.
So the same AI narrator that Hijab initially utilized, where he claimed to have created the video, is now relaying that Sister Aisha confesses to a failed engagement. And this time, the AI narrator, as an extension of Hijab, does not deny such a claim. So it went from being a crazy stalker to now being a failed engagement. I guess that makes sense when you keep trying to change your story, especially after we released an audio recording of Sister Aisha's father testifying that Hijab had called him twice, seeking his daughter's hand in marriage.
Where she explains that what transpired was a failed engagement, not a marriage.
Yeah, and while they were frantically rushing to create this video, they forgot to AI generate the audio of her explaining this so-called failed engagement. I mean, after all, the video they released is titled Full confession. Yet we only got a 10-second AI-generated audio. I guess they didn't have the time to fabricate the rest of the
No, no, this AI, I guess it make only 10 seconds for free. Yeah, they don't want to make like 10 seconds after 10 seconds after 10 seconds. I just, this is full confession. That's it. You confess,
conversation. We reached out to Sister Aisha. She was in complete shock. How far are they willing to go in order to deceive the public and to silence her? First, it was a barrage of character assassination attempts to deflect from the allegations. Then you had 5 to 10 second sound bites taking things completely out of context. Then you even had Adi Dawah presenting evidence that Sister Aisha had photoshopped a text message, which was quickly debunked and proven to have been maliciously fabricated in an effort to frame her. A matter in which Adi Dawah remains completely silent and has gone hiding in his shell. And now you have...
True, notice like this is a story. We're talking about it for like a month and a half now. Until now, he did not even dare to make one video by his own. I mean, what happened to the guy you finished boy? It's brave, 6 foot tall. Suddenly, he is nowhere to be found. He will not talk about it. Why you don't go and say, hey, I have nothing to do with it? Just go, say, she's a liar. It's possible that somebody lie about somebody, Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it happened that somebody is very well known. There is a stalker, it's true. But what makes it so obvious that this woman, she is sure. She called the court, the Islamic court. She filed against him. Muslims, they called him, asking him to come to the court to clear things out. He refused. So who is the one is running from proving what is right and what is wrong, what is false, what is true? It's him, not this woman.
Have an AI-generated voice trying to impersonate Sister Aisha, all while Mohammed Hijab shares the clip, laughing hysterically. And then...
Look what happened. Mimi Hijab is not talking about it. He just played this audio, the short audio. I mean, look at this monkey. Look how disgusting they are. Can you believe it? I did not see this video. Maybe I should look for it. Hold on. Maybe I can find it. Yeah. I mean, this stupid women who get involved with him. I don't know what to say to her. She deserves it. I don't know what to say to her. Stupid. Literally stupid to get involved with this hyena. Let's see. I found a video here. Has the picture, but no, not this one. It's okay, we will try to find it later. Yeah.
And then you have his partner in crime, Adi Dawah, demanding an apology from myself because of this AI-generated confession. Both of these guys are not just clowns, they are delusional, they are liars, they are masters of deception, they are criminals. In response to their pathetic attempts to try and frame her, Sister Aisha took a firm oath, a challenge, and a mubahada against Mohammed Hijab.
A channel called False Accusation.
In case you do not know what mubahala is, just one of the stupid fabrication of Muhammad. When the Christians, they came to Muhammad to debate him about his stupidity, speaking of Jesus, Muhammad, he could not answer them. So he said, okay, Let us do this. Allah told me to do this. Bring your wives, I bring my wives. Bring your children, I bring my children. Bring yourself, I bring myself. I'm glad he will bring himself. He will not forget himself somewhere. And let us invoke Allah. The curse, the one is lying. And supposedly, if you now invoke Allah to curse you, Allah will curse you. So listen carefully. The stupidity of this garbage cult. So are you saying to me, Allah will not punish you unless you ask him to punish you? That's deep. So you lie, you commit a crime, you rape, you do anything. Like now, this is story here. So now if you don't do the mubahala, which is asking Allah to curse the one is lying, is that how you prove that you are really innocent? I mean, thieves, they will swear by God 1,000,000 times to get out of jail, if that will make them get out. How stupid this religion is. He could not refute the Christians. The Christian waited in front of his door 2 days. Muhammad did not even dare to open his door, the coward. They came all the way from the Najran. And now this woman, she's supposedly, she found no solution except I will do mubahala. And what mubahala is, Bushra? Tell do mubahala for us. Go ahead. I like your mubahala.
And a mubahala against Mohammed Hijab.
A channel called False Accusations published a video titled Full Confession, Game Over, that was released on April 26, 2025. Around the minute 1 and 10 seconds mark, a deep fake voice falsely claims that I confessed to never marrying Mohammed Hijab. This was a repulsive lie. I hereby declare a mubahala against Mohammed Hijab. Bismillah, in the name of Allah, I stand before Allah, the one who knows what is hidden and what is revealed.
That's not good. You know what is hidden? So where is the chapter of the, the breastfeeding for adult? As long as you know. What about when Muhammad was accused of stealing underwear? He knows what is hidden, right? Okay, the guy, he stole an underwear. They accuse Muhammad. Until now, nobody knows who took the underwear. So how he knew everything? If he knew everything, he should tell us who took the panty. Look at the answer of Allah. It's not for any prophet to steal an underwear. Okay, whoever deceive his companions as regard the booty, he shall bring forth on the day of resurrection. Like what is the panty proof? You see, you can clear Muhammad from the accusation by saying, okay, go to this guy, open his drawer, or let him take off his clothes. He's wearing it. Potato, he do not know this God. If Allah is God, he will know who took the panty. Until now, nobody knows that. It's missing. Until now, 1400 years after. And guess who's accusing Muhammad of stealing panties? The Muslims. Muslims. They always bite each other. Hyena religion. Like now, look what they are doing. They killed Uthman, they killed Muhammad, they killed Umar, they killed Abu Bakr. Oh, they killed Ali, they killed everybody. Muslims. Let us continue with the video. So now she is going to do mubahala, and that will prove that she is decent, because now Allah will punish her if she is lying. Okay? Allah will punish me if I'm lying. Allah, I ask you personally, please punish me if I'm lying. And as she speaks, guys, because she is lying, her boobs getting smaller. I mean, that is a big punishment for women, especially these days. My boob is getting smaller. Allah, forgive me, please. Let them go back. I have to go to Korea to fix them now. Mohammed Hijab, is your turn to do mubahala. May Allah punish me if I'm lying. Oh Allah, what happened? Allah, I see Christian prince is coming in my way. That's not what we agree upon, Allah. Two different punishment. You're finished, boy. Okay, Aisha, go.
This was a repulsive lie. I hereby declare a mubahala against Muhammad Hijab. Bismillah, in the name of Allah, I stand before Allah, the one who knows what is hidden and what is revealed. I declare with full knowledge of what this means. I never made those statements. I didn't marry him. That is not my voice. I never had such conversation. If I am lying in what I have said, then I ask you, Allah, to send your curse upon me, to disgrace me in this world and the next, and to make me a warning sign for those who lie. Ya Allah, send your judgment upon the one who is lying. اللهم اجعل لعنتك على الكاذب منا في الدنيا قبل الآخرة وأظهر الحق واضحا جليا. I ask you, Allah, to bring justice not tomorrow but in this life. Expose the liar amongst us for the world to see, and let the truth be seen. وحسبي الله ونعم الوكيل.
The end of the video. And that's it. Hey Muslims, don't you learn your lesson? I mean, you pray to Allah every day for Gaza, and nothing is working. You got you got shish kebab, you got busted. Seriously. Don't you pray to Allah like Gaza, Allah, the Jews, Allah, And now the Muslims, they start fires in the empty field around Jerusalem. They could not win the war. They think they can burn the empty field. So this is the end of the video, as you see, guys. And Muhammad Hijab is nothing but a dirty bag. Literally, dirty bag.
2 days after we published a video on the case.
Shameful, people, very shameful. I mean, he himself, he have videos teaching people how to have, it's okay to lie. It's okay to lie to your wife about having secret wife, correct? The video is there on their channel. And he was defending that, obviously, because he was doing it, And this is not a wife. This is an escort, This is sex. What wife? A wife, you cannot even tell people that she is your wife. Why? A wife, you never visit her family. You never go with her in the street. Oh, it's a secret wife. So it's a hooker. It's literally, You see, a boyfriend and girlfriend is a billion times more honorable than Islamic so-called marriage. It's a very fake society. Extremely fake. Who is going to hide that he is married to this woman? Why you want to do that if it's marriage? It's not marriage. That's why you are hiding it. It's just sexual relationship. Right? Yeah. Maybe tomorrow I will go live and we will talk about what's going on in between the Druze and the Muslim Sunni. There is a Muslim Sheikh, Durzi. He called Muhammad a pig. He called Muhammad a pig. And now we know that Syria is controlled by the Muslim terrorist Al-Qaeda. So those Muslim Sunni, they start attacking a side of Damascus where obviously there is a big number of Druze. In fact, this area, not only Druze, there is Christians, there is others, but the majority of people there are Druze. So if we go here, maybe we can show you some of the fight. Those are Abdul. This is Abdul. He is using a sniper to kill the Druze, See? Those are the Muslim Sunni. He have a sniper gun. He have a sniper gun. The Israeli, they did some warning shots on the terrorists, but they did not really help. I guess they are asking for the Druze to ask for it. They are saying about 12, but I based on what I heard, the number is way bigger than this.
كما ترين هنا خلفي في الصورة ربما هو بداية اقتحام أو بداية هؤلاء المقاتلون بدأوا يتحركون باتجاه صحنايا.
So those are the Muslim Sunni attacking the Druze.
وسط إطلاق نار كثيف، وكما ترين هناك أيضا دخان كثيف يتصاعد من تلك المنطقة ربما.
Yeah. So obviously things is the Muslim Sunni they said they want to eradicate all the Druze in Syria. They want to kill them all.
غسان يوسف أنت معي عبر الهاتف.
استغلوا الطائفية والتحريض.
هناك اشتباكات كثيفة جدا في آخر الشارع، إطلاق نار كثيف جدا في هذه المنطقة تحديدا. ربما هذه المنطقة المدرعات ماجد إلى هذه المنطقة، هذه واحدة من المدرعات التي تتجه نحو منطقة الاشتباكات تحديدا.
Yeah. So we will see what will happen. And here you see the Saudi TV stations is defending the Muslim Sunni. Al Jazeera is the same. Al Jazeera, I heard the guy saying, did you kill them? Did you kill them? Like he's encouraging them to kill the Druze. Very filthy. So we will see what will happen. Those are the Muslim Sunni.
سحبت جثة ولا لا؟ بعتها بالأرض. بالأرض بالأرض. بالأرض لا تخلي يسحبها. لا تخلي يسحبها.
رد لقوة من إدارة الأمن العام يتجهز للتوجه نحو منطقة صحنايا.
Those are the Muslim Sunni, the terrorist. Yeah, the only one can save their ass is Israel. They are no match. You know, the number of the Muslim Sunni is way bigger, and now the Sunni, they are the one in control of weapon and all the government weaponry. So the only one can can fix this and help them is Israel. We will see what will happen. The Druze are not a friendly people to Christians. They killed a lot of Christians before. So they are not really that much, don't think about them like they are nice people, etc. They killed tens of thousands of Christians. When Al-Hakim bi Amrullah Al-Fatimi, he was the Caliphate of Egypt. At that time, the Druze were flourishing. They killed a lot of Christians. So don't think like they are, like now they are, they joined the Israeli army because the Druze, they have no loyalty except to the Druze. So anyone who think really they love Israel is stupid, you know. Those people, they don't, they join always the one who is the winner, you know. So when the Assad was strong, they are with the Assad. The Assad is weak, they are against the Assad. So always like, who is the winner, they go with him. This is their leader, those leaders, sheikhs. There's more than 600 of them, they are in Israel already. Yeah, what do you expect? I mean, the garbage of Islam. Wherever they go, peace run away. Here it says 13 people get killed, but those numbers obviously they are false. you know, if they are smart, they should ask Israel to occupy their territory, and they will join the rest of the Druze in Israel. If we look at the map, Syria map, guys, you want me to talk about this topic or no? If you don't, I will not. So here, 90%, or let us say maybe 100% almost, of the Druze is in the city called Sweda. It's a very kind of a difficult territory, as a rocky volcano rocks, you know, and they are very close to Israel. So what Israel need to do, I mean, just in less than half hour or an hour, they can enter to this territory and they can take it, and those Druze will be happy to do that, you know. I wouldn't be surprised actually if the Druze, they found themselves, they will be suffocated without Israel, because in Israel right now a lot of Druze, for sure they will support the Druze in Syria, you know, and those Druze, they serve in the IDF as soldiers. Even they have, many of them, they have high ranks too. So they will be the communication, let us say, between the Druze in Israel and the Druze in Syria. And it's very normal to happen that they will ask Israel to capture this area here, you know, all this area here, and take it. They will be happy. They will not. Those people, they knew that if they live with the Sunni, they will kill them. The Sunni are not. They knew that the Druze, they hate Islam, and they are not Muslims. You see, the Druze, they have two religion. One religion in the front of public, they say we are Muslims, the Quran is our book, Muhammad is our prophet. But the truth is, Muhammad for them is a pig, Muslims are pigs, Islam is a religion of pigs. And actually the video which is played, I can search for it. What it was called, the name of the guy? Let me see. The Durzi Sheikh, he called Muhammad pig, his follower pigs. I'm trying to find the video for you. Where is the video? Let me see. See, guys, how much work I do to give you the information. You guys don't deserve it. But it's okay. It's okay. I forgive you. Okay, I think this is the video. Okay, hold on. Actually, it's an audio of this sheikh. What's wrong with this stupid thing? When you want it, you cannot find it. And the Muslim, the Sunni, they made tons of videos. Allahu Akbar. I sacrifice myself for the sake of Prophet Muhammad and my mother and my father. Savage trash people. Wait, let's see. Yeah, here. For some reason is not coming. Let me see. One more try. Who you think behind this? I mean, will not let me find it. I think the Jews. What do you think, guys? Don't you think that the one behind this is the Jews? I don't know. I'm suspicious. We have to blame the Jews. I think Netanyahu is not allowing me to find it. What do you think? Otherwise, why? You tell me, huh? Do you have any explanation? You don't have explanation, see? Yeah. So, here we go. Okay, we found... I found it. But I did not find the video, really. It's an audio. So, let us see here. Yeah, he called Mohammed a pig. He called Muslims a bunch of pigs. All right. So this is the audio. Let me see if I can turn that. Okay, here we go. There's translation.
بس يا إخوة ولاد أخوتها الحمد لله من فضل الله شباب الجبل مع سلاح إن شاء الله قد هنينا قد عزينا ما بنحكي الهم غير الله بس تحط إيد عند إجرة مثل ما عملوا بالبدو تبع عرة إن شاء الله بيعملوا بالبدو كله بس بدنا عاد تولع لأنه إذا ما ولعت راح يولعوها البدو الخنازير قوي عصن وكبر راسن يجي طلعوا لنا الحواني خليه يجوا عنا على السويدة والله يا عمي قد ما عملوا قد ما سووا أمية وبني أمية تاريخ عار من وقت ما استلم بشار لحتى لهالوقت هذا تاريخ عار تهجروا هن وعيالهم وبقول لك ابن سويدة غلط محورانية وبدوية أو محجب من أتباع محمد الخنزير كذاب هني
See what he said? Those who follow the one who wear hijab, the followers of Muhammad, the pig, the liar. You know, he just adding more names. So he make it clear, and I can confirm he's a Durzi. You know, the sound, the voice, like the accent. You know, this is how the Druze they speak. This is not a fabricated video or audio.
خساسي والنذالي والنجاسي بعيال هون وبصغارهم وبكبارهم. طائفي قذرة، طائفي نجسي. بس هذه الشيخة هي إذا فعلا باتت راح تكون عاصفة عار على بني معروف كلها.
So he's saying if the Muslim Sunni were able to enter into this territory, that would be a shame for all the children of Ma'ruf. This is what the Druze they call themselves, Ma'ruf. So he's saying that we should fight them, because if they enter, they will do. I'm sure what they will do. They will rape their women, and the Druze they always the Muslim Sunni through history, they kill them, they rape them, they kidnap them, always. You know.
الله ما كثروا الخنازير هون عندنا كثار.
He's saying now they become many, like their number became big. So look like before their area was more Druze, and there is some Muslim Sunni, they migrated and sit in their area.
كل مين ركع وصلى للعين محمد إن كان من حما ولا من حسك ولا من دير الزور كله بيرفع.
You see what he's saying? Anyone who bow down and pray to the filthy Muhammad, al-la'in here, al-la'in mean the filthy, the cursed one. All right? Whoever knelt and prayed to the filthy Muhammad, to the cursed Muhammad, whether he was from,
حما ولا من حسك ولا من دير الزور.
he is from Hama, which means a name of a city, Syria. There is Zor is a name of a city in Syria.
كله بيرفع بعضهم كله تابعين للعين محمد.
All of them, they are the followers of the filthy Muhammad. So this audio made those Muslim Sunni go crazy. They want to kill all the Druze. That's why I say this is a great opportunity for Israel to take over. If I am the Prime Minister of Israel, I will invade now and take that territory, because those people here, they are desperate for protection. You see, if we speak about war, they are, at the end of the day, they are a minority. So they are no match. Let us say, I don't know how many Durzi in Syria, maybe 800, 900,000, you know. So they are no match for the rest of the population. The only thing is good for them, they are very close from the border of Israel. And Israel is a small, tiny country, and this is a great opportunity to take all over this area. And maybe in the future they can take Damascus. Actually, Israel is less than 30 minutes from Damascus. If I am in charge of Israel, I will enter immediately. This is a great opportunity. It might not repeat again, you know. It might come to exist again. All right. And you know, this is a great lesson for all those who they are minority, because you see the Muslim Sunni are majority because the minority are divided. So the Christians, the Alawi, the Druze, if they are united, they become the majority, not the minority no more. But they are very much divided, you know. And you know, everybody knows that those Muslim Sunni are terrorists. Just make a speech in the mosque, Allahu Akbar, you know, insult Prophet Muhammad, go kill them. Even if it's a fabrication, it's not a true, you know, they will go. Very, very savage, trashy people. Like what happened with India. So Israel already took the Golan Height, which is the Druze area, by the way. Most of the Druze who serve in the IDF, they are inhabitants of Golan area, the Golan Height. In Arabic, we call it Golan. The leader of the Qaeda in Syria, who became a president now, he is from here. That's why they used to call him Al-Jolani. So he is from this area, you know. So the Druze, they are desperate for Israel to come. Just go and take it. A great opportunity. Who are the Druze? The Druze, they claim to be Muslims, but they are not. They believe that Al-Hakim bi-Amrullah Al-Fatimi, the Caliphate, he is the one who present Allah on earth. And the Hakim bi-Amrullah, he have letters shared with a person, Hamza al-Bahlawan, another, other like writing, and this is considered their book, the holy book. It's not the Quran. The Quran is not their book. They have nothing to do. But in order to survive between those Muslims, they lie and they say, we are the religion of monotheists and we believe in Allah. They use the word Allah, yes. But when they speak about Allah, they mean the Hakim, the Caliphate, who his name, Al-Hakim bi-Amrullah. This guy, Al-Hakim bi-Amrullah, is mentally sick person. He's a very filthy. He killed a lot of Christians. But there is a clear proof that he is mentally ill. As an example, he never used horses for his caravan. He used naked boys. So they tied in his caravan, in his cart, instead of horses, young youth who wear see-through clothing. He's a homo. He command that nobody in Egypt for 7 years is allowed to walk with shoes. A clear sign, that he is mentally ill. No, other 7 years, nobody can light a candle. If you light a candle, they will kill you. His army go in the street in Egypt. If they find somebody, anybody, he light a candle at night, they will chop your head right away. So 7 years nobody can walk with shoes. 7 years nobody can light a candle. And then there is a dish he like to eat. Anyone he eat this dish, he must be killed immediately. Yeah, I mean, obviously. And he killed a lot of Christians. I'm just trying to find you. This is the state of the Fatimiyin. In fact, the Azhar University, which is supposedly the highest, but it's nothing but a. By the way, whoever is studying Azhar University is the one who could not go to good grade in high school. Like they say, is the highest university for Islamic study, but in reality, those who fail in high school is the one who joined this university. However, this building here is built by this man. All right. I guess this is a documentary by the BBC about him, or an article. Very, very filthy person. So they have totally different religion. Maybe sometime I can make just a special like program just about this. All those are fake images for sure. They are just maybe this one is the oldest between them. Yeah, he forbid eating the dish. It's called mulukhiyya. Mulukhiyya. What is mulukhiyya in English? Hold on. If you eat it, you die. In fact, the name of the dish in his time was mulukhiyya, which means royal. Royal. Why? Because only him can eat it. After he died, because everybody can or he lost his authority. Anybody can eat it, so they call it mulukhiyya, which means anyone can grab it. So from royal, it's very tasty, a dish, if you know how to cook it. I love it actually. Here they call it nalta jut. No, if this is correct. All right. So this is al-mulukhiyya. This is how after you cook it, you can cook it with normal chicken, meat, or anything, Yeah, but it's very, very tasty actually. Yeah. You can maybe search online and find how to make the cook. So anyway, this guy, he's obsessed with this dish. Anyone he eat it, he must die. This is only for him. All right. Other clear, So you can imagine how much the Christian, they suffer under those filthy Islamic religion. Rape, killing, kidnapping, stealing. The same, like now what you see is happening to the Druze and the Christians and Alawi in Syria. This is something used to happen every day before, but now because we have internet, so I can know what's happening there even though I live in America. But before, nobody knows. They killed thousands and tens of thousands. And nobody will know. Oh, this is not a fairy tale, trust me. If you live in his time, you will wish you don't live. You will wish. Very filthy. So this is a dish. You eat it, you die. Literally. Because he forbid. All right. Very filthy creature, which he was like in the 900 in the 9th century. All right. He was born at that time, I think, and then he ruled maybe 30 years or maybe less, I'm not sure. A very sick, filthy person. You see, Egypt used to be 100% Shia. Shia. Same as the majority of Muslims, actually, they used to be Shia. And this is showing you how the one who controlled the office can change even the religion of the people. So suddenly, the country who was all Shia became almost all Sunni. Why? Because the new ruler is Sunni. Force everybody in one day to be Sunni. See how easy? And by the way, he claimed that he is descendant from Mohammed too, from Quraysh. He claimed that he is descendant from the family of Mohammed. And that explains why he is sick. Filthy sick. Did you eat it when it was forbidden? What does that mean? We are talking about a guy was exist 1,000 years after Jesus. You are telling me you eat it after. What are you talking about? Do you think he's still alive now? What's wrong with people? All right, I think we show people food and they start making some hallucination words in the chat. Anyway, Uh, you need to change your channel name. Well, my friend, I do not need to change any name. It's because people are lazy. Do you see it says patreon.com Christian Press? Subscribe there. Don't donate. I know nobody donate. No problem. Very few. But subscribe like Facebook. The second I post a link that I'm going live, you will receive notification. Easy. There's no need to look for it. All the video they have my Patreon. I know there's some trashy people, they download my video, they hide Patreon, my Patreon, because they're trying to make money from my videos. But most of my videos, they have Patreon. Go to Patreon/Christian Prince. That's it. You do not need to look for me in YouTube. And I don't have like a favorite private videos. All my videos is available for the one who donate and the one who don't donate. Correct, guys? Do I have any private service? I'm not like those, you know, you see them around. They have a private video if you for the one who donate, or private access because you make a donation to me. I don't do that. I'm not doing business here. So go to Patreon, sign. It's for free. Don't donate any penny. Never. All right? If I ever ask you to make a donation for me, curse me. Expose me. The Lord is our provider. And I'm very thankful for the one who donate. But this is not why we are here. So we try to find all solutions. So you guys, we know that YouTube, you know, try to shadow my channel. I understand, because I don't sugarcoat things. I have a lot of enemies, not only Muslims, atheists, etc. And I don't make money to YouTube. I refuse to activate my super chat. And why YouTube will be happy to have somebody don't make them money? I don't. You know, if you activate super chat, then YouTube will put your channel in the front. Good. So anytime, even if one day this channel disappear, because you never know, they might delete one day. Who knows? They can delete by one click. I mean, they are the one who own the company. What we can do? Those, you know, YouTube, they block even Trump. He was a president. They block his account. He was a president. I mean, the guy who controlled the most powerful army in the world, and they block his account in YouTube, in Facebook, in Twitter, and he could not do anything about it. So who's a Christian Prince compared to the president? So anytime you lose this channel, which it's very possible, you go to Christian Prince / Patreon Christian Prince, you will find it. Did you watch the video about Antichrist? No, I don't watch videos about Antichrist. Do I need a video to know about Antichrist? The Bible says whoever denies the Father and the Son is Antichrist. Mohammed, Muslims, Hindus, even Jews who refuse Jesus are Antichrist. Whoever denies the Father and the Son is Antichrist. Very simple. Do we need videos and movies and come to Albania? I want to go to Albania, but I heard there's a lot of Albanian there. Is that true? Or maybe this is rumors. Man, I went to China. There's nobody in the street except Chinese. Like first one, second one, third one, 10, 100, 200, 300. I did not see anyone except Chinese. A lot of Chinese, not a single foreigner. You know? I was the only one who looked different. No, I was looking at myself. What's wrong with me? Why they are looking at me? You know? And then I start like acting like a Chinese, so I start ching hong, he ho. And then they were like more friendly, you know? They became like, they understood maybe by look, I'm not looking Chinese because maybe my mom, she was watching some foreign movies, you know? But I was acting like a Bruce Lee. So I start breaking tables, chairs, jumping like a monkey. You know? And I put my fingers in the cheese. They were amazed how strong my fingers. How he can put his in the cake, actually, the cheesecake. I was able to put my 3 fingers inside the cake with no hesitation. I made 3 holes in it. Everybody in China was scared. True story, by the way. Anyway, I have a video of me when I was in China. You can watch it. I know I speak many languages fluently. You know. Go to UK, you will be surprised by Pakistani. I know. No, I've been in UK. I've been in UK before. I know some areas they are full of. Oh boy. I start stand comedy. Cannot I sit? I mean, do I have to stand up? Why people don't want? I mean, okay, we want to do comedy, and now we have to do it stand up. What's wrong with sitting? I don't like, by the way, when I do seminar, I don't like to stand up. I like to have, like, you know, those high chairs and a board. So I talk, I sit on it, and then I stand up, I write in the board. I don't like, you know, stand up. I like sitting, sorry. I mean, all of you are sitting. Why am I standing up? Weird. And by the way, sometime when I'm doing those stand-up things, I feel like tingling, 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 tingling. Here, you know, tingling. You remember the God women? Yes, you know, 2 days ago. Tingling, tingling. Here, you know, I get tingling, tingling. This is very Indian, by the way. I mean, tingling. I think this word tingling is made for Indian. Tingling, tingling, you know. So she have tingling there, and then, because this is God. You know, if you have tingling, tingling here, you are God, you know. Too bad I don't. Sometime I have tingling, tingling here. Tingling. Unbelievable. If a woman, I mean, whoever these days cannot claim to be God. Everybody is God these days, you know. Oh boy. All right. Any other question before we finish our tingling for today? Anything? Don't forget to subscribe and later unsubscribe to surprise me. All right. All right. Anything else? You are funny. Are you insulting me now? You know, remember, we are Arab. We take word in different direction. My cousin, he came to America. First time he drive in the highway. He was listening to the radio. And the radio, they were saying a crazy man driving in the wrong direction in the highway. Be careful. Attention, attention. A crazy man driving in the opposite direction in 101 highway. My cousin was laughing. I mean, crazy, stupid American. He said to himself, what stupid people. What one? Say 2, say 3, say 4, say 5 in the opposite direction, say 10, say 60, say 70. He's counting, you know, how many in the opposite direction. Because it was him in the opposite direction. But for him, because we are Arab, we think everybody is going the wrong direction, even though I'm the only one, really. But Arab, you know, brother and sister. Like, what one? Are you crazy? Say 2, say 3, say 4, say 5, say 20, say 700. What's wrong with you? Only one in the wrong direction? How I do start studying Islam? Watch my videos, get my books. You can go to Amazon, get my books. It's full of treasure, information, which you will hear nowhere. And I'm working now in a book. I'm trying to finish it. I mean, I cannot say when, but I'm working hard to finish a new book, and I hope I will be able to finish it soon, so we can publish it too. Why I'm not debating with Abdul? Well, you guys, you are not bringing me Abdul. I'm getting kids, you know. Like the smartest Abdul, he call us is Malik. You know Malik? So get me, you know, some sheikh, somebody want to debate me. Yeah, something is worth to get dirty, man. We got just potatoes, a bunch of kids. They have no idea what even they believe in. In fact, all those names we are talking about, they don't even know anything about Islam. Yeah. All right. I think we are done for today. I hope you guys have a good time. And I will see what will happen tomorrow with this news about the Druze. If the killing will stop or things will be... See, this is a terrorist talking about killing the Druze. Here they are saying that the Sunni terrorists, they control the area of the Druze in this area. So we will see what will happen. And we'll try to update you. We will see. The filthy Middle East, the land of killing and shame. Those are the Druze in Israel. They are protesting to support the Druze in Syria. So they are asking, if you notice that the Druze, they have a flag, they have their own flag, you know, because they dream that one day they can have their own state. But they are so tiny, small population to make such a thing happen. So that the Druze exist in Israel, which is in the Golan Heights, which Israel took it in the previous war, and some in Lebanon, and some in Syria, small, tiny minority. So having a state of their own is impossible. No, it's impossible. You did not answer my question. What is your question? Dias. Instead of saying you did not answer my question, what about you say what is your question? Shall I go now all over the text and look for your question? What is your thought on the new Prime Minister of Canada? A piece of garbage. What you expect from liberals? Liberals, wherever they go, they will screw it up. And I hope Trump, he will give him a screwdriver. Right away he start insulting Trump. So I hope Trump, he will give him what he deserves. So his government will collapse. Never vote for liberals. Never. I mean, look at Canada now. Do you know that Canada, they open their borders, anyone from Gaza, he can come to Canada. They will give him $3,000 right away in the airport, free apartment, free health insurance, free housing, heat, food, etc. I think $900 like for food allowance, and he do not need visa. This is Canada today. Soon you will find all the terrorists of Gaza in Canada. Make a video about fake God. This guy, he called me many times before and I wiped the floor with him. The guy who claimed to be the Mahdi. Is that the guy? He called me a couple of times. He's mentally ill. I mean, do we need a proof or to debunk somebody that he is not God? Okay, you are God. Do what God can do. Why I need to believe in you? Force me. Force me to obey you. Go and do miracles, you know, go to the graveyard and raise everybody there. Including my grandfather, you know. Yeah, he promised me to give me like the 10 pounds. He did not give it to me. So go to my grandfather, get him from the grave, raise him, and prove to us that you are God. Stupid people, you know, mental. Obviously, this guy is suffering from mental illness. I mean, it's embarrassing. But because we know we have a lot of people who are stupid too, you will find somebody will follow such a garbage, you know. Trust me, they will find. All right. Anything else? Let me see if there's any update. Let us see if there's any update. Right now they are sleeping, so not expecting much. You see, they are saying that they arrested many of the Druze, and the one who arrested, I'm sure they will be killed. Yeah, so we will see what will happen. Lord have mercy. What you can say? All right, it's time to go. I hope you guys have a good time, and I wish tomorrow we can meet again. If I could, I will be here. I will be happy to join you. I know that you guys don't miss me, but I miss you a lot, especially the ones who speak like this. Greetings, breath. First of all, everybody knows that my voice is the best voice in the world. Zakir Naik, your voice is so sexy. I mean, everybody. I heard that even many women, they can't even sleep without listening to your voice every day. Exactly. Ask my wife. In fact, my wife, she is always snoring. She is always what? Snoring. Snoring. Your wife is snoring because of what? Because my voice is very sexy. What do you mean? With a breath. You are stupid. You just said that many women, they cannot sleep unless they listen to my voice. Yeah. And what is the connection? You stupid, because my voice is very sexy, so they relax and they sleep. Oh, I never thought about it this way. Unbelievable. All right, Zakir Naik, you're sexy and I know it. Actually, there's one of you made a cartoon about Zakir Naik and my call to him. Anyone have it? There's but I can't play the video because last time I played it, they give me copyright. Zakir Naik. Hold on. I don't know who is the one who made this video. Where it is? Why today, each time I look for something, I cannot find it in YouTube? Maybe if we type cartoon. Here we go. You better guys download it because I will not be surprised if they take this video down. This guy who did this video, he did a good job actually. It's funny, very funny, but I cannot play it for you. So this is the video. It's called "A Christian Prince Called Zakir Naik."
Okay, what? Allah made him what? Please don't say that. Come on. I don't believe you. You must be kidding me. Allah, He made him know it.
See the music. This is the problem with this video. They
Know
play
what?
music.
Know what He said to them? He is the one who said that to them. He made known part of it, voided.
Let's see where is the part of Zakir Naik. It is called Zakir Naik. look at the phone. Christian Kuffar. I mean, this guy is funny. So Christian Prince is calling now. So in the phone of Zakir Naik, it says Christian Kuffar.
Taradan, taradan. Taradan, taradan. Taradan, taradan. Taradan, taradan. Taradan, taradan. Taradan, taradan. Assalamu alaikum. Christian Prince, please, for the sake of Allah, leave me alone. I told you 1,000,000 times, don't call me after middle of the night. First of all, I might be having sexual intercourse with my wife now. Secondly, this is sexual harassment. Number 3, I have no answer for you. Brother, but we have a question here about this verse in chapter 66, verse number 3. I mean, what the prophet, he told his wife a secret, and then the secret is spread around, and the secret became very well known, and then Allah told him about it, and then Allah, He made him know part of it and avoid the part. What is that part? Okay, I will tell you. First of all, don't ever listen to Christian Prince. He always, first of all, show me your faith. Show me your faith, I will give you the answer. Dr. Zakir Naik, the people want to know. It's not forget about Christian Prince. I cannot forget about seeing your face. I am sure you had in your face because of a very, 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 very reason, very, very good reason. Okay, Zakir Naik, maybe I don't look good, man, like you, you know. You look good, I don't look good. Why I want to show my face? I know it. I know it. I am sexy and I know it. Thank you very much.
And then Zakir Naik will start singing. Look at this. I have to mute the sound here because there's a music.
You eat pigs, you behave like pigs.
I'm sexy.
I muted the sound because the song will give me copyright strike. Yeah, he's singing now, I'm sexy and you know it. All right, let me give you the link in case you like to watch it on your own. We have to mute the audio so we don't get the copyright. And we will post it for people in Rumble too. If you like to watch disco nightclub of look how he shake, look. What the heck is that? look at the microphone. That's hilarious. Oh boy, Lord have mercy. All right, guys, good to have you today. And we have a very good, happy ending with Zakir Naik. May the Lord bless you all. And remember always that God is good. So is Jesus. And by his name we are victorious. And we are the crusade. See you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.